Thank you, phone, for interrupting just as I hit live. Welcome.
Energy low.
Never fucking fails.
I'll be happy. I don't think it broadcasted.
Maybe not. It's loud,
I
though.
did not hear
To
it.
me, it is. Yeah, either way. Welcome, everybody. I mean, actually, title kind of speaks for itself.
Energy critical.
There we go.
Showing off the Season 2 server. So, first off...
Nice weather.
Oh, it's great weather, I promise. You guys will see here in a second. Unless Nakor gets aggravated and just changes it.
Might
but
turn
yeah.
it off constantly. But...
We're going to be showing off the Season 2 server. So it is very much a work in progress. I've got maybe the basics of buildings down, the general idea.
yeah, you can explain all that to me because I don't think I've been in since you've done any of that.
Maybe? So... Okay, so we'll start from the beginning with it. Season 2 is going to be moving from the regular Space Engineers dedicated servers that you can use just by getting Space Engineers or doing a CMD and downloading the files. We're using Torch now, or if, at least for this season. We're going to see how it is, try it out,
Shouldn't matter.
see what happens. Torch, as most people who join servers know, is just a different launcher for Space Engineers Dedicateds. So we're moving over to there, mainly because there's a couple plugins with it that we want to use to try to help with performance, as well as a couple things we want to do
I'm going to take the spacesuit
content-wise.
load out.
Huh?
So we still need to take the spacesuit spawn point out.
I mean, if people want to start us spacesuits, by all means.
Find out. You ain't gonna live.
All right. And hello, Groundline. Nice to see you.
Mm.
But
All right.
with the Torch comes a couple different changes.
Weird.
One, we have a little more customization, I guess would be the best word, with a couple other things. And that's mainly just in the back end. That's going to help me with
What the hell?
performance, lag, stuff like that. And no, Groundline, I can see both chats. So I can see your Twitch one now, and then your YouTube one. But I was in the middle of an explanation. So, with the other changes, there are no vanilla planets in this one. Season 2 does not have vanilla planets. Ones we do have are Helios, Pike, and Medieval Engineers. Those are going to be our 3 planets for Season 2. And I will explain why we have those 3 planets here in a little bit. No, there's just a ton of lag. Depends. YouTube and Twitch are kind of weird with each other, so they have different
You got about
delays.
30-second delay on Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, hey, ran out of battery. So
About
you
the
can
same.
see, there's another mod that's been added, is one of the HUDs.
Oh, look at that.
But, let's go ahead and show them off. So Helios is going to be kind of the end game. Pike is sort of mid-range
Energy.
that we're passing now. And then the Space Engineers planet is going to be our starting planet for everybody.
Do I need to hide the cars? Or are you
Nah,
going to give
you're
them?
good.
One of them has a medical room spawn point on the car. Other than that, everything else is good.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we're the only ones in here anyway. It ain't gonna matter. But the space starts, so that's what I was just gonna get with.
Okay, they all
There's
have cars.
one start for everybody in Season 2, and it's gonna be here at the Community Center. The reason for that is starting out, everybody's going to be using rovers. If I can get out from in between us. So this is the little starting rover that Nari built. I like it. It's kind of got a Mad Max style to it. It's not terrible.
Not terrible. High praise.
Where the hell
I
are
mean,
you two?
It's not a Lamborghini. But no,
You didn't
it
say you wanted a Lambo.
This is true. It has everything that a starter will need, and it has, basically exactly what I said. Just everything you're gonna need. Has cargo, has a place for you to stay, has piloting. I mean, oxygen, hydrogen. Does it have hydrogen actually?
No, it does not have hydrogen.
Okay, cool.
So turn that one on for you so you can show it off, the one on the end.
Nice. It does have barrels, cryo chamber. Okay, even has a survival kit.
Yeah, we included a cryo chamber this season in the starter rover because some people were having issues with losing their stuff shortly after they started because they hadn't gotten their base set up yet. So
Exactly.
now with a cryo chamber on the rover, it should keep you alive when you're offline.
Yeah, as long as the rover continues to have power, you should be able to continuously be in them.
And we are using the Night Owl batteries, so out of the starting gate, the rovers have 19 days worth of power. And that's in-game days, so 19 times the 24 hours.
Right.
So
Well, there you go. So you got 19 hours of in-game with these rovers. And
19
that's
days.
19 days. Sorry.
yeah,
Not 19 hours. That's a hell of a lot of power to get a small base started up, or even just an outpost with some kind of production. So the biggest reason we're doing rovers first is because we want to encourage a little more cooperation and economy with players, and kind of get you guys and everybody else who wants to join just some kind of content with people, giving you a reason to go search for others and be near other players. I understand a lot of people do like just starting in space because it's one of the easiest starts as long as you know what you're doing. But this will also give you a challenge that not many people do. So I want to be able to have that challenge with a lot of you. See what you come about with it, because that's not the only challenge that's here. It's about to get a lot worse. I promise.
I don't know how, but I ended up logging into some other server.
What?
that's a neat trick.
Don't know how. I used the password and went to the right place, but y'all wasn't there. That's why I was like, what the fuck is going on? I got it.
Sure. Okay. That's new.
It said continue on season 2, so I clicked it and punched in the password and loaded. And I'm like, what the hell is everybody?
Fair enough.
Might have been a save instead of a something. I don't know.
Uplift the ships to space. So here's going to be the progression of I guess the whole season, and as a typical player in the season. You're going to start out with rovers, these small ones here. You are only allowed to create small grid rovers and large grid rovers. The only flyers you are allowed to build is going to be one large hydrogen flyer for your faction that takes you into space. That's it. All battles, all fights, all collection of materials is going to be small grid rovers and large grid rovers. That's it. Main reason for that is just to add another challenge. Honestly, that's what it's going to be. Because I want there to be a progression to the season. And no, it's not actual progression. You can see progression is fully fucked off. So no progression SE wise, but progression for the Ronin Empire, I guess, is what you're going to be doing.
Seasonal progression.
It's going to be seasonal progression. It's going to take you a little bit to actually get to that point, and it gets you a little bit more accomplished with it. Plus, it also keeps you thinking more of a salvage mindset than anything else, because we do still have the Ember, we have Incon, and Parallax is around here somewhere as well. Those three are still
all over the place.
They are. And I may have turned up the spawn rate for stations. That way we can get that salvage aspect and the parts needed. You can go out, you can take over bases, you can do all of that. Aegis shields, I can't remember. Do we have...
You skipped a point here, Phonic.
What's up?
Why we're doing salvage and being so salvage functioned.
Yes.
Focused.
So the biggest reason for the salvage mindset, and there's another part to that that isn't as salvage but more economy side, is we turned off voxel destruction. So you can go over here. Where the hell's my tools at? There we go. Voxel destruction is, if I was not in a safe zone, it's turned off. I mean, you can crash a ship at full speed into the planets. It's not going to put a hole, nothing.
Would you like some daylight for digging your hole?
I would like some daylight to show off the community center. That would be nice. Thank you. Watch your eyes. But yes, voxel destruction is turned off. So that's where the salvage and economy side kind of come into the series. And I need to turn music down because my ears are hurting. But yeah, that's the reason for the salvage. We do have Ember, Incon, and Parallax still, so you still have the same enemies. They still have ships flying around, but the actual stations that spawn on planet are going to be increased a little bit. Now, with that does mean you can't build underground bases. You cannot dig under enemy facilities to try to capture them. Put hacking chips on, which I believe I still do have in here.
I think so.
Fuel.
As far as the Aegis shields, let me just see.
Hacking chips are not here.
They are not. They should be.
Mm-mm.
I will put them in later. I believe the Aegis shields I did not put in yet as well, because I did not
relearn the damn
get
keys.
to that point. Yeah, I don't think I have Aegis shields in yet, but they will be. Actually, let me note that down really quick.
Well, that is nothing more than jump drive.
Oh, you know what? Aegis shields I was still on the fence about. Oh, wait, no. They should be. I have them in my list.
Well, I mean, we could put a jump drive on real quick and try to grind down the base and see if it works.
I just put one on.
Oh, did you?
Not fully charged yet.
Okay. Well, let us know. Oh, yeah, there it is.
So,
We'll find out.
in 7 minutes.
Actually, you should be able to see. I thought there was something in the actual data that you could see, but I might be thinking of another game.
Well,
Yeah,
does
it's
it
in the
have-
safe line ground line, but since we're in demonstration mode, we can damage the base to demonstrate.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be able to normally, but for demonstration purposes, we'll be able to.
There was something else other
Right.
than the jump drive that was a separate or add-on to that mod. What the hell is it called?
Shield capacitor.
Acid.
That I
That's
don't
in
think I put it.
definitely. Capsule, no. It might not be in then. Aegis might not be in.
Right. And catastrophe, no, that does mean you're not able to drill. So no digging underground, no building underground bases, no making giant miners that eat planets. But that also does go for asteroids as well. The way we're getting around that is, one, you're going to have the salvage. So you'll be able to get a shit ton of parts from those ships and actually be able to... Actually, you can get most of your parts that you're going to need from those ships, the bases, all that kind of stuff.
I'll put one of the buildings out here for demonstration purposes if you'd like me to.
Yeah, I was just going to fly over to one, but that works. I don't know where you're at.
In front of the in front of the welcome center.
Oh, there you are. Is this the iron?
Yeah, this is the iron mine.
So, around the planet and around the community center in general, within like 5 to 10K around, there's going to be all of your basic materials at these mining facilities. You don't usually do salvage. Well, here's where, if you don't normally do salvage, this is kind of where you would do otherwise. So you can go into these mining facilities, if I can get in there, and you'll actually be able to buy iron. You'll be able to buy magnesium. You'll be able to buy silicon, uranium, all that kind of stuff. Now, around the starting zone, the actual community center, I have iron, magnesium. Well, magnesium still needs setup, but I will have that one. Cobalt and silicon. As far as silver and gold, they're going to be a little farther out and cost a little bit more. What's up?
Nickel.
Nickel, yes, I still need nickel. That's
nickel and magnesium. Yeah.
Yeah. And then hydrogen for the one large ship that you're going to be able to make is going to be kind of on a mountain that I will make a way to. It's just going to be in the snow area, which honestly isn't too far, if I remember correctly. Spectator, please. Yeah, I mean, it's just literally any of these hilltops that I can make a spot to. Team, yes. So that's the other part. Let's see. Let's go over to this one, so you can actually see what happens. We're going to go over to the iron mine, and if you're unsure of which mine you're able to go to, one, they all have antennas to find them. They're not going to be hidden. They're not going to be obstructed by the terrain in a weird way that you have to go find it. They have antennas ranging out to 10K. So drive around for 30 seconds. Yeah. Drive around for 30 seconds, you'll be able to find one. Plus, they all have ore sticking out of the ground that you'll be able to clearly see, hey, that's an iron mine, if you're someone like me who plays with your HUD pretty much turned off. So you'll be able to see which mine it is and all that kind of stuff. And they are at the end of roads, so if you have your rovers, you'll be able to just follow the roads, go to the mines. The iron mine right now, I believe, is the one that's the farthest out. Yeah, because we have cobalt and I believe silicon on these ones. Yeah. Silicon there, and then cobalt pretty much where those little hills are. And you can see, if I come up here, there's a little bubble right there where the crosshairs are. I mean, that's how far you have to go. It's not that far. You just have to put in the work. And that's pretty much what I'm going with Season 2, is a lot of people tend to, when playing Space Engineers, I mean, let's be honest, with 2 bottles of hydrogen, you can go from starting on the Earth-like and be flying into space. I mean, that's just how it is.
Energy.
You'll be able to do that here too, but you won't have any ship or anything to do up there. because there's no voxel destruction, so you're not getting any materials. You're just floating around. But it also gives you somewhat of an end goal, because what you're going to be working towards is building up your rovers, getting your facilities, your own outpost and production up and going. You're going to be salvaging, you're going to be selling parts, selling materials to buy the materials that you need. Factions are able to trade with each other, so you're going to be able to do it that way. And then when you get your large hydrogen ship, you and your faction are able to actually go into space and get your next piece, which is going to be, I think it was silver. Silver and gold I was going to put on Pike. Is there anything for... I mean, I guess for like a survival kit you would need silver, but...
Right.
Any type of cryopods or survival, you're going to need
Yeah.
silver.
Right, but you can also take that off the small rover here that you have.
Yeah.
Plus
So
the amount of
there's-
It
ships
does
that
not
are...
destroy the medical when you take that off, though.
Huh?
I think it destroys the medical.
No, it doesn't.
No.
It does not grind down
No.
like that anymore.
Nope.
No.
When
And
you
that's only batteries.
Yeah. So...
Alright.
Plus, with the ships and the stations that you're able to put into, like grinding pits and stuff like that, you're going to be able to build pretty much anything you want. Hydrogen
Like
is going to
Patrick,
be your
yeah.
biggest backstep. Why is my game like flashing?
I'm
Because
grinding.
Nakor is grinding the base.
So there's still mods here.
Yeah, so we
Oh,
do
yeah.
still have it.
That's
I
why
s-
it's flickering.
I was going to say, I'm standing here trying to explain it. My screen's going like light, dark, dark, darker, light, darker. What the
I
fuck?
wasn't sure if it was working, so I was doing it. But yep, that is definitely in.
Okay. Well, let's take a flight over to Pike then, and I will show you. I haven't put shit on Pike yet. And if you've noticed, your starting planet, Pike, and Helios are all in line for the
Ooh.
progression reason. Pike is not a very friendly planet. There's definitely going to be uranium here, and you are going to need flyers to get here. So the kind of rule I was thinking about setting, and by all means, you guys in chat, people in the Discord, whoever sees this in 5 months from now, feel free to let me know how you feel about it. So my rule is, or set of rules, I guess we should say, small and large grid rovers only on the starting planet. So once you get that all settled up, you can using anything like that. I would like to restrict factions to like 3 large grid
Fuel
rovers
critical.
just to help with PCU. But we'll see. I may lift that restriction beforehand if we do some testing here within the next few weeks. Spawn in like 20 fucking large grid, overly complicated rovers. Maybe I'll have Eisen build me one. With like 30 fucking guns on it.
That's a small grid. Yeah.
Right, yeah. For
Yeah.
him it
Get
is.
one of Eisen's lightly armed rovers.
Right, yeah. Has 40 guns instead of 60. But yeah, that number may be removed due to how the server actually works, PCU-wise and performance-wise. Then, as the factions get more materials, they're able to build their outposts, their facilities. You're able to build your one large grid flyer that'll take you into space. Now, once you get into space and you have a stable facility or base, it can be on an asteroid, it can be here on Pike, I don't care. The facility has to have, production, has to have a respawn point, building locations so you can actually build more ships. Maybe defenses, that part I don't necessarily care about, but it would probably be smart to have. once you have all of that to actually consider it a facility or
No
main base,
energy.
you can build all the small grid flyers you want because you're going to need them in space anyway. But you're only allowed to take one dropship to the main planet, to the starting planet, I guess is the best way to put it. That way you can go get more materials, you can drop ship rovers, you can, sell parts, whatever. But you're only allowed to take one ship down to the planet. The reason I want that as a rule is because there may be a bunch of other players that don't have flyers yet. And you don't want to go down with 20 hydrogen-powered flyers and start wreaking havoc on people, bragging that you have your ships and they don't. It's going to deter a lot of people from even continuing playing. It's going to push people away. I mean, me personally, it would motivate me, but not a lot of people think like I do, because, two brain cells making a third. But yeah, once you get into space, I don't care how many small grid flyers you have. You can have 10 fighters, 3 cargo. I don't fucking care. The only thing I ask is that you think about PCU and server performance when you're building your large ships. And then eventually, as you get your progression, you get more of your actual flying ships, get more money, you'll be able to afford to actually come over to Helios, where it's kind of, I don't know, a paradise terrain, I guess is the best way to put it. Let's go to the sunny side. I mean, it's Earth-like, is what it represents. The original Space Engineers Earth-like planet. Just bigger, and it has rings. Kind of serene. And that's it. I mean, it's basically you're working your way up from nothing.
And that's going to be where the Reavers are hiding.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm going to let Reavers only spawn here.
Yeah.
No. I want there to be a progression. I want there to be an end goal for players on top of, the awesome ships that you guys build. Here in Season 1, I've seen what a lot of you can build, or even take some of the NPC ships and what you can turn them into. I want you to think more along those lines. Grab these NPC ships, grab their stations, fucking go wild with them. Because, one, it's going to be one of the few ways you're able to actually get parts, and 2, it's going to be the fastest way to get parts. But it also gives you something to work towards. You like it? Definitely not you. Why not you, Groundline? I have seen what you do with NPC ships.
Yeah, the Axe Head.
The Axe Head. You've had a couple of them. You definitely are able to do it, and that's kind of the
critical.
idea I want people to try. It's a joke. It kept up with me and Eisen. Well,
I think the definitely not's the joke.
yeah.
Your what's it called? Streambot, Restreambot is not working on the Twitch side.
Which
or
one?
the other way around. I can see it in restreaming Twitch on YouTube, but not the other way. So I don't see YouTube on Twitch.
Oh, that's because YouTube actually has a thing for it. Twitch does not.
Just letting you know.
Yeah, that's why I have it actually overlaying in the video.
Oh, I see your PDA's off, but you have to overlay up.
Yep.
Okie dokie.
It was rhetorical. Nah, you'll be fine. And we'll have people actually challenging themselves and being able to...
That's a big word.
I mean, he knows how to spell it, I don't, so there's a plus.
Same here. It's like, he Googled it, you know he did.
Right.
That's why it's all in caps.
Yeah. But let's go ahead. I'll show you what we got going on so far for the community center. As far as like the rest of the details for the server, there's gonna be minor stuff like an actual. Somebody put down a statue.
Yeah, you forgot it, so.
Oh,
No
fair enough.
energy.
Not gonna lie, I was gonna put one down before stream and kind of zoom in
Oh.
on it. I just forgot.
Yeah, I've had this thing for over 10 years, not 10 years, but whatever.
Right.
Like
But
Minecraft. Had that thing for well over
the other details as far as like how many stations there's going to be for actually buying materials, I'm still debating on getting a plugin for actual contracts and missions for players to actually do, because the setup for it is very tedious, because I have to build the stations ourselves and then we have to set up those routes basically for them to go to. So I'm still debating on if that part is going to be necessary, because I know a lot of people don't really like to do salvage. I'll be honest with you, it's been like a 50-50 shot on what I've seen people liking salvage or not. You either love it or you hate it. So that seems to be my experience with it. And I'm one that I don't really care. It's kind of a 50-50 for me. So we'll try it. We'll see how it works. And we'll keep it going. But the premise being so far for the community center, since everybody pretty much... Oh, God.
I'm radioactive.
I see that. So
Ew,
the
part.
idea being, when you start, it's going to be back here. Don't mind the paint. I accidentally completely painted the entire base, and I'm pissed off about it. And
That's about right.
I had lost motivation to repaint everything for right now. So right now we're...
I can help motivate you.
I don't like that thought.
Colors you paint.
Oh no, it was many different colors, because I had like a hardwood floor and some shiny walls, and it looked really nice. And then I was building this medical room and accidentally painted everything, and I was pissed. But yes, you will spawn at one of these two medical centers. You'll be able to choose which one you spawn at. It honestly doesn't matter. I have cryo chambers for that many, and you'll be able to just come on out and get going. Now,
18.
Black, 36.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, 36, 2 low rows of 18.
so for 36, be fine.
More than I think the server's allowed to have, so. it's
Right.
fine.
The next thing a person will do is they'll come out. I'm going to have the server rules and kind of what to expect up on those two LCDs, and be able to actually read and explain what's going on. And thanks, Catastrophe. And have a good night, man. You'll be able to see this later. Just come back to it if you want to watch the rest. It'll be fine. But you'll be able to come out, read the rules, of course, all that fun shit. And you can come in here and take claim to... I have too much shit now that I have to rename. What is it? Faction? It was faction. Did it get renamed? Yeah, because it should be Faction 1. It might have been rebuilt by now, actually. But the refineries and stuff will have like Faction 1 in the name. It'll be Faction 1 Assembler, Faction 1 Refinery. You'll have one of everything. That's just to get you going. You'll have a spot for production. You take claim to that and this small cargo, and then that will link this small cargo container I have to go outside to show you the rest because I don't have exterior walls yet. It'll link one refinery, one assembler, one large cargo. It will also have one set of hydrogen tanks, which those don't really matter because you'll just connect to a connector and you'll be fine. But it'll also link to one of these connectors. So it's a spider web of pipes to make it work that I've been working on. But that's how that one faction is going to build all their stuff, at least here at the community center. Once you get a couple rovers up, once you get even just one rover with a crap ton of inventory, you can go off and build your own facility and keep it going from there. Do as much of the rover driving around as you want. I'm not restricting to how long people have to be on rovers before they can start their one large grid flyer. You can do it that same day for all I care. The only thing I ask is that you have your own production facility up and running, because these ones are supposed to be just for starting out. I have 5 of them so far. I am able to add more. I just need to see how quick people get in and out of here. So it'll be good. If we do need more than that, those 5, I may build a second building or have the community help me build a second building for more production and all of that. Why am I getting weird shadows?
Oh, I was putting fire on top of your hydrogen.
No, I'm getting... I think it's from the safe zone.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting like weird...
Oh, yeah, that is the safe zone.
Yeah. Like shadows of the building and everything.
Yeah, that bubble does weird shit to the visuals.
It's like looking at a paved road in the desert.
Heat look.
Yeah. Distortion.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much going to be the basis of it. Mainly a salvage season. You're still going to be able to build what you want, how you want, when you want. There's just going to be a little bit of restrictions on when you can build those. Not too bad. You are still able to do PvE. You're able to do PvP. The PvP is going to be a little more restricted because it's a lot of self-policing, and as well as like consented wars only. So I mean, it can be consented through roleplay, Discord chats, you guys deciding to duel in a chat one day. I honestly don't care, as long as it's agreed upon beforehand. I would prefer that you all agree to what kind of skirmish and battles and wars you're going to have. Like, plan some of it out. You don't have to plan every detail, but just say, hey, I'm only going to go after your big ships, or we're going to bring 2 corvettes to the fight, see whose is better. Don't just roll up to somebody's base and start stone raging them, because then I'm going to get pissed, because I get the messages from it, and I'll stone age you. And that's just for the first time.
I like doing it. So.
Right. So I'll get the rest of the server to stone age the one person. I haven't decided yet. You know, number 1 rule of the Ronin Empire: don't be a dick. You'll go through life so much easier. But that's pretty much it. I mean, that's what we have so far. As far as the actual mod list, I will show you what we have so far. Bring this up. There you go. So this is my mod list so far. We have the Queen Haven Skybox, Assault Weapons Pack, of course, MES, Parallax, Ember, Alicon, which, now that I think about it, I think I'm basing it based on the Hellscape world where anyone could likely attack. I mean, yeah, by all means. If you want to build a base on Pike, have at it. If there's a large update during Season 2 with MES or even Space Engineers in general, I'm just going to warn everybody now, MES may break and it may not be fixed. Lucas has said that he's pretty much stopped coding and doing anything really Space Engineers wise. If it's small fixes, he said he'll be able to fix it and patch it up, be fine. But if there's a large update to Space Engineers that breaks MES to where he has to go in and pretty much rewrite sections of the code, then it probably won't be fixed. So nothing to worry about right now, because I don't think Space Engineers has a large update coming out.
I mean,
But it
we
could
remember
happen
the
at
fireworks
any time.
fiasco.
Right. Right.
They can switch one thing and break
Breaks
30.
everything. But yes, so I'm just saying it as more of a keep an eye open more than worry about it, because I don't think Space Engineers has any large updates coming out anytime soon, but it's just a possibility. Anyway,
Yeah.
after our fun MES chat, we got our CS, colorful icons, Man Industries Advanced HUD. That is the one that actually gives us the power outage. It actually highlights the bars that go from green, orange, red. It shows an optional 3 bottles, but I believe if you have more than 3, they do show up there.
And now it's showing 3 minus 3 bottles, so you don't have them.
Right.
That's why
So,
they're red.
yeah, if they're red, you don't have any bottles. Then we have the colorful icons to go on top of that. So, makes it just a little bit nicer to look at, which is
Yeah.
fun.
Smells pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, we have battle cannons and turrets again, AWS, which I think I have up here anyway. Ganymede pistons, of course. We also have Ganymede's conveyors. So that's one of the new ones for the season that you'll be able to play with. We had them at the beginning of Season 1, but because of the other mods that we were playing with and introducing and using, these conveyors were sadly taken out because of their performance hit. But they are back. I was able to work with them, and we're able to use them. We're good. These ones, so the Ganymede conveyors that we have are mainly just visual overhauls. And how are they broken, Groundline? I haven't had any issues with them. I mean, I adjusted them a little bit on the back end. Pretty much made it how it needed to be. At least I haven't had any issues with them. They work just fine. I can transfer stuff from container to the other one. This base is pretty much lined with them. Maybe with 30, 40 people, it might be an issue, but the textures are all there. Yeah.
That might be a visual bug on your end, or could be just lag throughout.
It could just be server lag that causes the textures, but I've not had a texture issue with them at all. I mean, they were...
They
How
are
you
showing.
see-
They're showing down at the bottom right of his screen. It's Twitch is weird. I was talking about it earlier.
Yeah. Actually, no. I have not seen any Twitch chat from him.
I just see Groundline's Twitch.
Yeah. Huh.
I
Sorry,
just saw
Crazy.
Crazy pop in on.
Yeah, even directly on Twitch, I don't see your chat.
Yeah. Weird.
Apologies.
From what I've understand of what we got all set up now, the mining's all going to be salvage, or there's stores that we're kind of weirdly setting up for buildings and stuff like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct, Crazy. So mining in general is just not going to be a thing. Building underground bases, stuff like that, it's not going to be possible. So the biggest reason I chose to turn voxel destruction off,
There's the question that nobody's asked. I was kind of waiting for it.
what's that? How do you make money? So that's where the contracts come in that I was talking about. There's a couple different ways. I'll get to them here in a second, but I want to explain why I turned voxel destruction off. In Season 1, the biggest issue at the moment with the server is voxel destruction. The Parallax, Ember, Incon, the ships coming down, Incon, weirdly enough, are similar to Reavers, and they like to ram the shit out of everything. So, if you have a base, if you have a ship, anything near the surface of any of the planets or the moon, and it loses its guns, its next objective is just to spearhead you. And if it misses, it hits the ground, causes a gigantic hole. If you have 3, 4, 5 people next playing at that base, and you have this crater-sized hole next to your base, especially for console players, it becomes very laggy. And ground line, not everybody likes making space stations. Me personally, I like having planet-side bases over space stations, actually, because I like being able to drive up to them. I like being able to come down in for a landing. You know, everybody's different. So to kind of help with that, plus for server performance, we just turned off voxel destruction. Especially for newer players and stuff like that.
When we notice a lot of lag, and everybody's telling us there's lag, we go in and have to clean up the area. It's usually little stones, shit tons of gravel, and a bunch of busted parts from Icon.
Yep.
Other people's bases that are still just like lodged in a fucking voxel.
Right.
So that's one of the main reasons. If we shut that off, it should clear up a lot of that issues.
Right. Now you will be able to still put blocks in the ground to make, like you said, you want to make a mountain base, Crazy. So if you want to still do that, I mean, you can still put blocks in the voxels to lock them down, stuff like that. They're still going to be able to have stations. You can still make asteroid bases. You just can't dig into it. So
Locked on top of it.
Right. So yeah, some plans might have to change. Me personally, this definitely changes what I was going to do. But with Season 1, that is one of the biggest things right now with performance is voxel destruction. And that's the one thing we can turn off that still allows us to have a lot of the mods that we have. Because we're kind of, being a crossplay server, we have a very thin line of balance where we're able to continuously add mods while having the server not break. Because, and I hate to say it, this is Keen's fault completely, and I don't like saying it, but it is. When PlayStation, especially, when they launched the Space Engineers on PlayStation, the consoles were getting, they were constantly getting the error for, I can't remember if it was their RAM or their hard drive space being full after only playing for like 2-3 hours. And the way Keen ended up fixing that was to completely delete all mods after you shut the game down. Now, that can be for joining servers, that can be for joining your private game. You can still subscribe to mods on mod.io if you're on console, but they will not be downloaded until you join that game that they're supposed to be in. So when it comes to dedicated servers, that means every time you join the server, you have to sit there and let them all download again. It's stupid. I don't like it. They probably have a better way of fixing that, but just don't. I don't know. So the way we're kind of dealing with that is keeping the mods as light as possible, but also I'm testing to see if getting rid of voxel destruction and having that file, because every time you destroy voxels on one of the planets, it adds more, it basically adds files and history and backups to the server files. So by removing voxel destruction, I've basically taken out a gig or two of files that we won't have to worry about. That can open up space for new mods. It can make it easier for console players to join. That's basically my thought process behind it. Does no mining mean there's no point to even build refineries then? So there is, because you still have scrap metal, and you can still actually get the ingots and the ores. When you get into the more complicated areas, actually, let me go to the iron mine really quick, just to show you. So this starting iron mine, the way we're going to balance it and kind of entice you to go further out, get in here. Right now, you have iron ingots and iron ore. Notice the amount. I have 5,500. Let's just go ahead and buy all of the iron ore. Oh, well, of course it no longer exists because I need to fix it. There we go. When it starts spawning in the iron ore again, 739. You will have to sit here for hours to be able to build a large grid ship. So yes, this part is cheap and one piece per unit. But I'm going to put the same mining outposts as far as like iron, magnesium, and all of that around the planet, away from the community center, to, well, they're going to have different prices for each one. Ingots are going to be more expensive, of course, but you'll get a little less of them. The ore is going to be cheaper, but you'll get a lot more of it. So yes, refineries will be useful, and of course assemblers are going to be useful too. Time to kill a blunderbuss. You can do that with a rocket launcher. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it kind of boils back to the salvage idea. Get people doing it. Community centers this way. As far as making money, I know Crazy mentioned that as well. So there's a plugin that I'm looking at getting. It's made by the same person who does this store one that I have for the iron mines. He's got contracts that we can set up to be able to build stations, set up contracts like cargo hauling, bounties, a couple of other ones that I forget. There's like a list of 5 or 6 that we can set up, and you can actually make money from doing that. I think one of them is collecting certain parts at a certain location that you'll be able to get, and you'll be able to turn that in. I think it runs off of a timer, and if you have XYZ when the timer hits 0, you'll get your money. Or if you deliver it within a certain amount of time or that kind of shit. So you'll be able to do that kind of stuff. How will you deal with players like me who will just go straight from the start and aim to take over NPC grids for grinding up or repurposing, and who completely avoid using the mining part? So that's kind of what I want you to do.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, I want you to go towards that salvage. So you spawn out here. You have nothing but your starting stuff on you, like me right now. Look around. You have an incon base that way. You have an incon base that way. You have an Ember base that way. Incon that way. Go after them. I mean, I would honestly keep your starting rover from getting destroyed, because you can use it as a respawn point. Might want to think with your brain on that one. But I do want you to be able to actually go salvage those. Use them. Bring those parts back here. Claim one of these containers as your faction, and all of the refinery, assembler, cargo, and connector that are associated with it. Now, granted, you're only going to have one of each at first, but you'll be able to actually use them and get started with that. It's going to be a slow process. In layman's terms, that's the point. I want people to be able to kind of get a feel for things, engineer your way to Helios. That's the idea. Me, you, and guess. The hard part for those, though, is if they have any sort of inhibitor fields, how to combat that will suck. And that's kind of where... that's going to be the hardest part. And I'll admit, even I'm going to kind of struggle with that. But if we go over... which one's the closest? DBS observation.
I mean, that's what tanks are for, so...
Exactly. Nothing is saying you can't go buy a bunch of iron, silicon, and nickel. Add some armor, because cobalt's there. You don't have to go looking for cobalt too much either. You can go buy cobalt, build some heavy armor, and a small rover. Put a couple fucking guns on it with the magnesium you have. You'll be fine. And this is an energy inhibitor.
Energy critical.
I was actually going to drop a tank on your head, but you ran off too quick before my blueprint menu
No
loaded.
energy.
So the thing about these bases that you actually have to worry about is, like, this one has an energy inhibitor. Actually, it has a drill inhibitor. Why did it show up as an energy one?
It's got both.
Oh,
I saw
well,
them. They
yeah.
came up separately as you were approaching.
That's fair. But most of these stations are able to be accessed from the ground. So, I mean, it's... you got one turret there, two turrets. I mean, they're interior turrets, so it's not going to be going up against Gatlings and rockets and stuff like that off the get-go. I mean, I say that, and there's an artillery turret on top of this thing. But even still, you getting close enough, and that thing's not going to hit you. Even on foot, you can avoid artillery turrets. It's just a matter of figuring it out, playing it as you can. You can actually outgun artillery turrets, too, if you know what you're doing.
And
Also-
provided you're not trying to climb a building at the same time.
Oh, well, oddly enough, this one can't shoot you as long as you're close to the building. It's directly in the middle on top. So you
Yeah,
take
I
out
was-
the interiors on bottom.
Oh, I was talking about Wedge's artillery strike into that building we were climbing that one time.
Oh, yeah. Once I get to space, I have to come back into Atmo to come get resources? No. So, Ember, Parallax, and Incon will still spawn ships out in space, just like
Fuel
normal and in
critical.
Season 1 now. And that part's not going to change. I'm also going to have these same stations in space on asteroids. I'm going to have fueling stations in space. The other planets are going to have these stations. But honestly, once you get to space and get your own base occupied, one of the things I would do, and I probably shouldn't be telling you this, build a grinder pit. It's going to be the easiest thing for you to have. You take out a ship, take out a station, grind it out of the dirt, pick it up, bring it back to base. That's kind of part of the engineering process of it. If you're here on the starting world, you can still take one of these stations. We did it in Season 1. We know.
Yeah, we did.
Cut this bitch off the ground, put it on a large grid rover with a crane, and wheel it back to your base in a grinder pit. We
Praying
did
to
it a
the
few
Omniscide.
times.
Praying to the Omniscide the entire time.
That's right. I mean, it's a weird way to do it, but it works so well. You just got to do it right. I'd rather not have inhibitor fields and get rid of hacking computers and get the thingies so you have to grind down the seed or something. See, that's the problem, is there's a version of, what is it? Hostile NPCs or Hostile Takeover. There's a version of that on mod.io. It's called something else. But he's also been accused of basically taking Hostile Takeover, changing the name and a couple lines of the code, and re-uploading it to mod.io. Now, does that mean I won't use it? No. It just means I'm a little more red flaggish with it. I want to test it. I want to make sure it works. And then see if consoles can even join with it. Because I have to make sure there's no client-side scripts. So that is an option. Hate going in and out of Atmo. It's like the worst. It can get somewhat annoying because it takes so long when the atmosphere is 40,000 miles thick. But, I mean, that's just kind of the part of it.
I mean, you could tell them the secret of getting down to the planet fast, or you could let them discover it on their own.
I do it at the beginning of every session I do. Every series I do, actually. I mean, it's the easiest way to start a series off. Smash a perfectly good ship into a planet, figure it the fuck out. Sometimes it doesn't go the way I want it to, but that's just part of it. Okay. Alright. Let me come back to the community center real quick. Nari, are you able to see chat?
The only thing I can really see is ground line, and I'm watching Twitch. So
okay. I think YouTube actually has both
YouTube
sides.
Chat when it pops up on your stream.
Okay.
I could try jumping over to the YouTube one here real quick, just a sec.
I was going to say, I have to step away for just a minute. I figured you can answer any questions that they might have.
Okay.
You and Nikor. I know he's kind of passed out at the moment.
Yeah, I think he
Fell
went
asleep.
AFK. So
He probably did
All right.
fall asleep. But yeah, I'm going to step away for a couple minutes. I just have to go check on something.
okay, so I'll be hanging out on YouTube in case anybody has any questions. So.
Yeah, Nikor said YouTube shows both.
Okay.
There you go. Alrighty, I'll be back here in a minute. Groundline can answer pretty much most things. I'll be right back.
We did time.
Fuel critical. No energy.
I can be there, crazy. So, but personally, I like the salvage thing better because my miners always tend to crash or flip upside down in the hole or something like that. So I actually have a lot more luck in no mining worlds. Most of my personal worlds I don't do mining. So that and I like to weld all my ships together until it's so big it can't move, and then turn it into a station, and then go out and take over some more ships and start welding them together again. So, that's good. I would hope not here. If I can get the brightest, most annoying green possible for him to come back to. Not the one. Brightest one. There we go. Something subtle for him to come back to.
Alright, I'm back. And I did see that big lime green ship. Matches mine. Hell, it almost matches Phonic's little seat he got. Look at him upgrading his sit.
Have not ever seen Valerian. So I'm working off of the orc theory. So I play Warhammer 40k on the side. So orcs will just capture ships and just keep welding them together until they no longer fly, and then they add more thrusters to them, so that it starts flying again. But
I have a very bad idea, but I'm gonna try it whenever we get started.
What's that?
I'm not gonna tell you because I don't want nobody else to try it.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be ugly.
Heretic born and bred.
Oh man, I haven't played that game in forever. There's so many things on it. So many fucking servers I'm trying to keep running.
Yeah. So how is the Arma server going? Is it coming together?
I didn't have a chance today to check the mods, see which ones are causing me issues yet.
Okay.
And then I start work tomorrow, so it's gonna be one of those things. I'll get to it when I can. It keeps giving me an error saying there's two of them that are not right. Partial mismatched data. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, still having that issue.
Yeah. Once I figure out which one it is, I can mute that mod basically and start it, and it should run. And then I can kind of tweak the mod list, and figure out which ones are better. People forget their duties; they are no longer human.
Become something less than beast. I mean, as long as you're not actually actively worshipping chaos, the Emperor can find a use for you.
I
It
like
may be in the
chaos.
Imperial Guard, but the Emperor can find a use for you as long as you are not worshipping chaos. Even Xenos-loving scum have a job in the Imperium, in the Inquisitors.
Wonder who's now RPing.
Hmm?
I said, look who can RP.
Oh.
Should have joined us when we had that GTA server.
Yeah.
Nothing but RP. Yeah, that was a hard fucking thing to run.
No, I haven't. I'll have to take a look at it. What is it called? So I have seen some of the Emperor's text-to-speech.
The video about the worst jobs in the Empire is pretty ridiculously awesome. Hey, don't click that. And your face is gone. And it's back. No vocals yet.
I think he's in awe of my rover. So
No, I just had myself muted. Okay, there's that.
Maybe YouTube has a stupid heart emoji thing right now.
Novel idea, but drilling by hand and building up your ability to mine more. It's soothing. You're the first person I've ever known to say that drilling is soothing. Most people hate it.
Oh, you just set it up and then AFK. That's what's so soothing about it.
I love to salvage as well, so I'm not saying it's a deal killer. Look like the station from the movie Valerian. Yeah, I mean, that's one way to do it. Or one thing, you could ground down all the parts, use them to build your own.
yeah, the assemblers will break down parts into ingots. So
Yep. Different things to do with our factions. About the worst jobs in the Empire? No, I have not. You're not far off, Crazy. We have gotten pretty close to grinding down an Oventide by hand. Ooh, is this your large grid that you've been working on?
no, this is just something that I pulled up to play with while you were gone, so that you would.
Gotcha.
So this is actually one of the rovers you can buy on Ares.
Oh,
So it does not usually come in green. So
that's
I made
fair.
it green so you could see it from where you were hovering.
Oh, yeah. That's fair. Ground line,
Kinda looks
as
like the
for...
thing we sunk.
Huh?
It kind of looks like the thing we sunk in the first couple days.
What, my boat?
Yep, without the wheels.
It kind of does, not gonna lie.
So
Ground line, as for each faction having like a dedicated quirk, one of the things I was playing around with, problem would be stability and the amount of players on the server for it. But factions only being allowed to have refineries or assemblers. So you would have dedicated miners, assemblers, builders, stuff like that. The only reason I didn't go with that idea is we would need a lot of people to be on the server, because if you only have 10, 15 people, you really can't have 3 factions doing mining, 1 faction doing building, with no assemblers in between. You know, makes sense? Or you would have to wait for that one person to get on from that faction to be able to do that kind of thing. So, I also gone down an Amazonian blockade runner as well, but Online let me borrow a grinder ship for the last bit. I mean, close enough. Whatever works. to see the inside.
Oh, of that ship.
Yeah.
Let me paint it something that's not stealth mode.
So I don't think I've seen the end. Ah, you're fine. I can see it.
He murdered it out.
Right. Actually,
Fuel critical.
laid out pretty nicely. Oh, there's an actual entrance to it right there. Just a one-seat command, huh?
Yeah.
That's
So
kind of surprising.
it is. It's one of the smaller, large grids that you can purchase. I think it was only like 400 million. So
Only.
yeah.
Interesting. They got grids on top of the nectars.
Yeah, you can connect through catwalks.
Yeah.
So
No
The way
energy.
they built it, it's smooth. It's not like there's a little hip lip.
It's weird. They have one seat for driving, but 4 beds.
yeah, I think it's supposed to have like small grid
crew.
miners or fighters
Yeah.
or something up here. So
You know how it is. If you're not fighting, you're sleeping and resting.
Right.
because I mean it does have 4 bays up here, so you could put 4 fighters up here or a couple of
Yeah.
fighters and a couple of miners or
Weird though.
Right. Well,
oh yeah, that is odd. I have no idea why they did it that way.
what's that?
So here in the center,
Oh,
they've got the refineries and stuff, but they've got these doors over it to prevent it from taking damage, from the pipes taking damage. But the refineries themselves are exposed, so
Ah,
I'm not sure.
well, refineries take a lot of damage.
Now
Yeah, they
these are
have a
only
lot.
basic refineries, so
Oh, yeah.
I guess the tubes need to be protected, but
Probably more
Oh.
for texture than anything.
I think it's more aesthetic. Yeah, kind of looks cool with the inset.
mm-hmm.
But, ground line, as for the one chip challenge,
Oh, excuse me.
I don't want to do that because that is a little more difficult, especially with factions with multiple people. The one thing I was thinking about doing was limiting the amount of ships and rovers and stuff. Or actually,
weird.
yeah, limiting the amount of rovers and ships, but also limiting the amount of people that can be in a faction.
Hey, look who else showed up.
Hey,
Hey Tox.
you'll have to send me info.
I got
Yeah.
you. I can find it all.
But-
My brain.
And I got the other one installed, so I just have to launch it at some point.
Okay.
Yeah. It's off right now anyway.
Right. But, alright. I mean, that's not. Oh, God. Just changed. It's not going to be too bad. I mean, it sounds worse off than it actually is. Once we actually get people playing into it, going along with it, and you try it out for a few days, you'll see how good it can get. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm one who likes a challenge, so it'll be nice to have.
I don't know how much more we have left in this game, so couldn't tell you
What's
what we're
that?
doing after Sonic gets done showing everything.
Oh, are we not doing this one?
No, this
we
is just
are.
previewing season 2.
We're not running game. We're showing off what we've got ready.
Yep, I'm actually going to be hopping off here in a minute well, I'm going to take the kid from the wife. She's getting a little antsy, so I'm going to help her out.
Every night.
Or, yes, I'm going to be calling it a night pretty early. But that does gives you guys the chance to either build a little bit more on here if you want, or do the Arc one if Tox already has it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
downloaded
uh,
last night.
I don't
Yeah.
know what Nari's doing, so
Right.
I hate to leave them out of it.
Oh, I don't care. You guys can play Ark. It doesn't look all that interesting to me right now. So.
What?
I
The fuck you say, Nari?
It's not in space.
You, sir.
Has a
You.
point.
Well, you look at that
Bye.
Void Crew game then.
You are in trouble. Goodbye, Nari.
One me and Phonic were playing.
Did you just kick him?
I disconnected him.
Get him back in here.
Kind
I
of
will.
hard. He disconnected him since he did
Oh.
that.
He actually kicked him from there.
He's always doing stupid shit.
Crazy. I can do one better for you. We didn't just buy the new Ark. We have a server set up for it already.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy?
We are still testing out to see what we can do with it, because I didn't even know there were mods already, but there were 80 pages of mods on day 3.
Hello,
So-
Nari.
Um,
Toxic's the dick. We all know this.
yes, yes, he is.
That's why they
But-
left me, and that's why my name's Toxic.
We do already have an Ark server set up.
No energy.
I can put the details out. It's just, what were we playing
fair.
for? An hour and a half yesterday, Nikor? 2
like
hours,
3
maybe?
hours.
Three and a half hours.
Yeah.
Was it that long? Didn't feel like it.
Yeah, it showed me 4 hours of playtime.
Oh, well,
I was like, holy shit.
there you go. We got 4 hours in. And I crashed probably about 6 times.
Yeah, the game is buggy as hell still.
Yeah.
I crashed loading my character
What the hell?
and I had to
You want
reload.
me to play this?
What?
Our crashy ass game.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am gonna go help the wipe out a little bit. I hope
We went through enough of
We've-
that.
explained it pretty much for all of you guys.
Torches up.
RDP. That's fine.
Oh, is there no faction yet?
Oh, I got RDP up. What's up?
No, you're fine.
Is there no faction in the server?
But we have
Put it on right now. Hold
a
on.
bunch of details that still
Oh,
need
no. There's
ironing out. There's still a bunch of things that can actually change. Nothing I've explained tonight is fully set in stone. So if there's a better idea, if there's a better suggestion, by all means, hit us up, let us know. Then, I mean, we'll see what happens. That's about all we can do at this point, because that's all we have. I mean, I want your guys' feedback. I want your guys' suggestions.
I mean, we put in a lot of the
Anything you guys want to do.
beginning of stuff.
Right. I mean, we have outposts that can easily be changed to other stuff. I have a community center that can still be used for newer players, but can also be used for many other things. So, my idea and the way I've been pushing the season so far is able to change. So, depending on what people like,
I'm in.
what they don't like, we can work. So, let us know. Hit us up. Give us your suggestions, feedback, all that kind of
I'm
stuff.
over by the starter rovers.
I think actually playing it will be what brings out the necessary tweaks, finding out what works. I mean, that's pretty much what it's going to be. And I'm kind of hoping the last week, I know it's pretty much the
That's
holidays at that
nine.
point, but even if it's just me by myself, actually
Can't
hopping
take
in
it
here,
over.
playing it for a week, and seeing how hard it is, how complicated, what tweaks need to be made, we'll go from there. So that's
I mean,
pretty
we
much
can
going
make
to be
it harder and take out jetpacks.
There was the ambition to actually put in no suits.
Yeah. Or you have to stay in a closed environment. You can't just leave without
Yep.
having some oxygen and shit. But that's,
Pretty much.
I don't know if we ever want to add the food stuff.
No,
I
I don't
cannot.
think you can.
I did not like that shit
Um,
anyway.
Right. But that is going to
But
be
these
it
stews
for
look
me.
cool.
I hope you all have a wonderful evening. If anybody's there that isn't part of the Discord already and would like to join the server, Discord's down below. Go ahead, join it. Have at it. I would say do the socials, but I got people pretty much watching on all sides at this point, so you're already there.
You got Valorant still, Nicor?
Thank you, Nari, for the Discord. Go ahead, hit the follow though, subscribe if you're on the YouTube side. It does help us out a lot, gets more eyes on us on the server, which in turn just helps more people join the server, gets more people active and a little more life. It's always fun. But with that, I'm going to leave you guys to it. I hope you all have a wonderful night. Let us know about your suggestions and stuff, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya.